The prices of goods are rising. Practice the way how Japanese people are living. I need to do something for my country to be friends with international students.
Thanks for the interview. Where you from? Or
I'm from Sri Lanka. I came to Japan 2 years ago, but I was studying as a Japanese language school student, and I started my studies at this university from this year. So I am from School of Japan Studies, and I'm gonna study here for 4 years.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you more closer. This
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
sorry. Actually, I have a friend from Sri Lanka,
Oh, really?
and I'm studying New Zealand.
Oh, there are
Yeah,
many students going to New Zealand for studies.
really.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Oh,
kind like a trend.
oh,
But I chose Japan. Yeah,
okay.
there's a point like I had some choices like going to New Zealand
Oh,
or
really?
Australia, like,
Really?
but I prefer Japan because of the culture. I like Japanese culture and the way people respect others. Like they are so polite, even than people in my country. So it's a really unique point in Japan, and I think that when it comes to the climate and seasons, I have no seasons in my country for seasons, but here in Japan we have sakura and all the things, so I like that too. And I felt that Japanese language is quite similar to the my language,
Oh,
like the order of the words like SOV and VOS like that. So it's quite similar to my mother tongue. Then it's different from English language. So I felt like it's quite easier to study. So that's
so why not New Zealand or Australia?
yeah. I haven't been to those
Oh,
countries,
okay.
but I have my friends who are studying there. So maybe I think in countries like New Zealand and Australia, people are that in the in when it comes to privacy, I think it has become a serious problem, like serious thing in Japan.
Okay.
People are too much into their privacy. They do not like to share so many things, like they do not like to expose themselves with others. But I think that is different in New Zealand and Australia, like so people can easily have conversations even without even they go to a supermarket, they can have a close conversations with people who are working there. But in Japan it's totally different.
Yeah.
And yeah, those people have limited small talks and all the
Yeah.
things.
Distant.
Yeah, so when it comes to Japan, it's basically about weather. The small talks are about weather.
More hot or
Yeah, it's the same. That it's atsu desu ne. They start like that. But I think that's different in New Zealand, like countries. You can freely talk about even private things like too personal things
yeah.
with others when you meet someone, even with unknown people.
Yeah.
You.
But actually in New Zealand, people just polite, friendly.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually pretty much same here.
Oh.
But the only difference maybe in New Zealand,
Oh.
no matter what you ask, they will answer you.
Oh.
But in here, maybe they just reject you at the beginning.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
that's the
they can decide whether they should answer or not, something
yeah.
like that. So, oh, I haven't seen that. So, is it different from like America or American culture? I don't know whether they are similar or different,
Oh, I think it's
but
pretty much same.
same.
They are polite, but you can tell if
They're so
you
friendly
yeah
that
so friendly.
being friend with them is more like it's easier than being friend with Japanese people, I think. Because
Yeah.
in this university also we are meeting many international students, so it feels like easier to be friends with international students sometimes than with Japanese students.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why that's the problem. Not problem. Like that's the situation. Like I'm studying in New Zealand,
oh
and the friend of mine basically international, so I know the feeling.
yeah, so you understand the
Yeah, I
difference.
understand.
Yeah, it's
Like they are friendly, but they are prefer hang out with like local, you know.
yes, yeah, this
But before at the beginning, I'm hard to like understand, but later I feel because like they're like our grew up culture different, like lots of topic we cannot share to talk with.
yeah,
So
there are
that's
many.
the maybe the reason why.
Yeah, so soon after you start meeting so many people from different cultures, you can understand it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you find do you find like here? Do you have you traveled here before or just first time?
No, this is my first time. Like, this is my first time I traveled to a foreign country from Sri Lanka. I haven't been to any other country. Uh, Talking about like cultural shock or something like that, but I was so aware of Japanese culture when I was in Sri Lanka, so that wasn't a big deal for me. But I have heard from some my international friends who have felt that cultural shock, like people are like they have a particular way of speaking according to the situation or the even inside. For instance, I may say that in club activities, when they are seniors, you must respect them even though you know them for a long time. So something like that. They are too polite and sometimes they are too strict. Like they have fixed schedules like things. So some people face that cultural shock. I haven't experienced it a lot, but of course there's a clear difference of two cultures.
So what's the like the good thing you feel here, and what's the thing you don't that much like?
That means that the thing I like here
Yeah, like
that I can't say in my country. Oh, uh, I think that people are like the politeness. I might say that because people are too polite here. Because sometimes it's good. I think because there are some kind of people who don't like to talk about their personal things with everyone. So such kind of people may find Japan more easier to live than, for instance, in my country, the neighbors are too close, but in Japan, sometimes we don't know who are our neighbors, so something like that. So, and their cleanliness and the way they work like that, they have fixed schedules, like the way of doing things. If they are going to hold an event, so they start on time, exact time. Like if they say they are going to start it at 10, they start at exact 10, and they have set of rules how they should do these things. They have already decided how to do things. Like when you are working at a restaurant, they have decided where you should place things, like so they have like a pre-decided way of doing things that makes they can work too fast. I think it's a unique thing in Japan comparing to my country.
I mean like especially in Tokyo, like the people are so rush like to
Yes,
work.
they are in rush, like, but the they are working so hard and like they are minding their own business and they are focusing on that. Maybe that's not maybe that's a problem sometimes because there are some problems related to that. People stay single for a long time, like they are too much into their work. But sometimes it's a good thing, I think.
Oh, so like, what makes you like? Did you the reason why you come here because the animation or you just like the culture or?
Oh, like anime, that thing. No, I haven't. I'm not into anime or manga because many international students
Yeah,
are telling
yeah.
that they like Japan because of manga or anime. No, in that case, I haven't read any manga.
Oh, so
Yeah, I started just studying Japanese language at my high school. So after that, I felt that language is a nice language and easier to understand with my comparing to my own mother tongue. And I felt that the cultural features, like they have nice cultures like tea ceremony and the choreography and some other things like ikebana, the flower decoration, so and kimono and all the things. So it felt like it's interesting. So that's why I started thinking of coming to Japan and study more about Japanese.
so what's like biggest like culture shocking have you have met? The
What
biggest culture shocking.
biggest culture show? Maybe the
Don't have to be the biggest, just like
yeah, because I was aware of most of the things before coming here, so that doesn't. But I think that I may say that they are not too much familiar with, like, when I'm doing part-time job at a place. So sometimes I feel like they are too close with me, but sometimes at the same time I feel that in some occasions they do not like to share their privacy with me like that. I feel like talking about my family and my friends
yeah,
with them, but they sometimes they don't like to talk about things like that. So
yeah.
it's kind of shock, I think. I think it may be normal in New Zealand or America.
Now like in New Zealand, you can ask them to answer, but like the one thing you can easily to judge, like can I be a friend of him or not?
Oh.
The main reason is like if only you ask, they don't ask you. That means
It's
yeah,
like
they don't
that.
want to
Oh,
like speak
if
that
they
much.
don't ask, it's like they don't like to talk about it
Yeah,
anymore.
if you ask them, they ask you, then will
If
be
they are
yeah,
interested in, oh,
yeah.
I see. That's a good thing to know.
Yeah, like I think in Japan, like I don't know, maybe in somehow it's good because you can easily judge is the like can be a good friend or not.
Oh,
And actually, I heard from like the local, they say even they are like a good friend, they don't
oh,
talk about like their like family or something. They just talk
oh.
about like school stuff.
Yeah,
So
something like
yeah,
that. So they are not too much into the personal things, like. But in Sri Lanka, that's not a big deal to talk about something related to family, like things. Yes.
and what do you think like so far? Like how's your life going?
I think it's good because that there's a considerable amount of people in Japan from my country. Sometimes that many of them are facing some difficulties, maybe due to the some economic problems in my country, and due to that
Yeah, I know the
and
politics stuff.
yeah,
I heard
political
of it.
stuff and the economic crisis, so all the things. And recently in Japan also there were some problems with the economy and the prices of goods are rising
Yeah.
every month. But I don't face any difficulties like that because I I think I think I should say that if you are living in Japan for a long time, I think it's better to practice the way how Japanese people are living, like the way they act, like the most important thing is that they are working on time. So I think you have to get into that.
Yeah, get on time. Yeah, they really care about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I felt some difficulties when going to some place on time, but I get used to that, going working on time. So something like that. So I think if you can adjust to the lifestyle of Japanese people, that isn't a big deal. There's no much trouble. But if you are unable to do that, you may find it difficult, like living here. Like you may feel you are uncomfortable in Japan. I think so.
Yeah, I think I know because I have been almost 2 weeks, and I feel if you acting like not like normal like norms, you'll feel they will like look
Yeah,
at you like
yeah, it feels like that you feel awkward
Yeah.
in the society or
Yeah.
in the crowd. So it's better to that Japanese people are too calm even when they are inside a bus or public transportation. So it may be difficult, but you have to adjust for that unless you feel yourself uncomfortable among others.
And I think my final question is like, did you plan to stay here afterwards, or you have like, other plan?
With the current situation in Sri Lanka, I prefer living in Japan. But I need to do something for my country. So maybe if I can do a job related to like international affairs or something like that, or working with the embassy of Sri Lanka.
Oh,
So I'm gonna do that because I need to do something for Japan and both Sri Lanka
because
because
you're studying Japanese.
yeah, I study and I'm living here, so I must do something for this country as
Oh,
well.
that's good. That's really
So
great.
maybe
That's
my
cool.
career will based on somewhere in between Japan and Sri Lanka.
Oh, wow, that's really so. Like, you do you think you overall like Japan, like the culture?
I prefer Japan a lot. Like I think I'm getting used to this
Oh, okay.
because after coming from Sri Lanka, after like very recently, I went back to Sri Lanka for 10 days. That's the first time I went back. But at that time, I felt 10 days is too long. I felt that I need to go to Japan again.
Did you feel the time you went to Sri Lanka feels like a travel abroad?
Yeah, I
Same.
felt
I know
that.
the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, so that I felt like that I should be in Japan.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Cannot get used to like that
Yeah,
quickly.
I felt that thing. I was so surprised with that. So I think I would be more comfortable if I stay in Japan, and because I am getting used to this society as a matured person. Because my childhood was in Sri Lanka, but now I have to get into my matured life. So I think I prefer
Oh,
Japan.
okay.